trust is a lie. Everyone loves the star. I am invisible trash. But this girl found me in the dark. Is she real? He stared at the gift, reminding himself never to trust anything in this world. He had made that mistake before, and he was done paying the price. But the biggest red flag on his radar? Girls who were randomly kind to him. That is suspicious. Meet Youta Tohno. While the rest of the campus is simping over the school idol, he is walking around with a permanent scowl. See, he has got a tragic backstory. Every time a girl approached him, it was not for love. It was to pass a note to his hot older brother, Ray. He is done being the NPC mailman. He swears off women forever. But naturally, the universe tests him immediately. Enter Izumi Houjou. She drops a polite, good morning. But Yuta's paranoia meter hits max volume. He knows she is just another enemy combatant. He tries to mumble a response, but she is not having it. She leans in, closer and closer, until he finally snaps under the pressure. He screams good morning like he is declaring war. She accepts the victory and walks off. Meanwhile, Youta is left clutching his chest, furious that his heart rate actually spiked for a second. He tries to rationalize it. Izumi is top-tier cute, which means she is definitely targeting his brother. It is the only logical explanation. Then she hits him with the side-eye, and he nearly jumps out of his skin. She corners him with the most intense interrogation of his life. What bread do you like? He panics and admits to the melon bread. She tells him to go buy some, and like a good little puppet, 5 minutes later, he is eating the damn bread. She is playing 4D chess, and he does not even know the rules. Over at the gym, the peanut gallery is busy worshipping the class idol. According to the fan club, Izumi is perfect at literally everything. She handles the ball like a pro, driving down the court with zero fear. But one guy notices something is off as she winds up for a legendary shot and absolutely bricks it, not even close. Most people would cringe, but she celebrates the air ball like a buzzer beater. The boys are confused, yet somehow, the failure only makes her cuter. Youta gets put in a headlock because he can't stop staring at the court. He tries to deny it, but he is caught in 4K. Then she wipes the sweat and fires a tactical smile directly at the sideline. The boys take critical damage from the sheer force of the fan service. She walks off, leaving a trail of broken hearts in her wake. Youta starts spiraling. That wasn't an accident, that was a target lock. The bell saves him, but Yuta's brain is still buffering. He can't figure out Houjou's angle. Usually, girls bring up his brother instantly, but she didn't say a word, so naturally he goes full Delulu and assumes she's confessing her undying love. Back in the real world, he spots a senior trying to slide into a girl's DMs using the old notebook transfer strat. That fake smile confirms it, he's just another simp. Even the background NPCs are hyping up how cute the girl is. Then, the hallway goes crazy. A horde of fangirls stampedes past him like it's Black Friday, leaving Youta in the dust. This is his tragic origin story. Girls only pretend to be nice to him so they can get a VIP pass to the real main character, his brother, Ray. He sits there sweating, replaying his trust issues. Then someone actually stops to check on the wreckage. Youta looks up, completely confused by the gesture. She offers him a handkerchief to clean up the shame. He stares at her like she is an alien. Even the background NPCs pause their chatter to witness this glitch. He asks the million-dollar question, why isn't she chasing his famous brother? She hesitates, looking for a polite answer. Then she sighs. She gestures to the literal zombie apocalypse of fangirls swarming the poor guy. She ignores the chaos, claiming she found him instead. She insists that is the only reason. She practically forces the item into his hands. Youta finally breaks down and accepts the loot. She drops a smug little pose to seal the deal. Then she activates the trap card. She demands he return it later since it is her favorite. Yuta's brain instantly connects the dots. She is just using him as a courier to unlock the brother route. He spirals into total denial. He clutches his head, vowing never to be played again. But back at base, he admits to the squad that today wasn't total trash. Because honestly, he is already hooked. Youta Tohno is running on pure trust issues this morning. He keeps his guard up, scanning the school for threats. He spots Izumi Houjou. She's been acting super sus lately, probably trying to farm clout to get to his older brother. Suddenly, she traps him. Keibadan. She pins him against the lockers with zero hesitation. Someone asks for his zodiac sign. He mumbles, Virgo. Izumi locks in. Her eyes go dark. She lunges. She snatches his tie. A violent wardrobe adjustment right in the middle of the hallway. Then she just hands it back? Youta screams, completely baffled by this chaotic energy. Urara steps in, flexing her outfit of the day. Apparently Virgo's lucky color is blue. Izumi admits she ditched her green tie because it was cursed. She literally mugged him to fix her feng shui. Yuta realizes his life is a joke. Yuta watches them leave, swearing he'll never understand the female mind. He refuses to buy into the horoscope scam, but the universe has hands. A door smacks a student in the face, and a janitor splashes dirty water everywhere. To make it worse, the hallway turns into a mosh pit as everyone simps for some idol named Ray. Back in class, Yuta is absolutely cooked. The bad luck combo has him looking like a zombie. He fights off sleep, forced to admit that maybe, just maybe, Houjou was right. He spots Izumi dropping her mascot and squeezing the life out of it. He realizes the new lucky color meta is definitely white. Some random NPC warns him he dropped his loot. The crowd surges, and Yuta completely loses his footing. He goes bowling straight into the poor girl. She turns around, and he frantically apologizes to avoid a lawsuit. A fangirl stampede for Rei-sama tears through the hallway. Izumi yanks him out of the kill zone just in time. She tells him one more step would have deleted him from the server. She hits him with the ultimate flex. Lucky for you, I am here. She points to her hair tips. Turns out, blue is the new lucky meta. Yuta's brain completely short circuits. He chases her outside, screaming that a human girl cannot be a weather charm. Meet Rei-sama, the school idol absolutely drowning in fan service. The girls spot a loophole in the system. His brother is standing right there. Enter Youta. Gloomy, cynical, and radiating pure, leave me alone energy. He knows the drill. These girls don't want a date. They want a backstage pass to his brother. He retreats to class to escape the thirst, but the alarm sounds immediately. Izumi Houjou is waiting, the absolute final boss of his headaches. She's hijacked his desk and refuses to vacate the premises. When he complains, she scoots over an inch and offers him half the seat. A physics-defying trap. The NPCs whisper about his luck, but he knows the truth. She's just grinding for social points to get to Ray. She invades his personal bubble, mocks his private journal, and calls out his weird confidence. Reality hits fast. Surprise math quiz. Izumi is unbothered, but Yuta realizes he is absolutely cooked. The result is a tragedy. 5 points. He is legally required to take the remedial test. His buddies ace it, rubbing salt in the wound. They blame his failure on that pre-test flirting session. Yuta cancels his plans. It's just him in the textbooks tonight. Yuta drags his sorry carcass to the library to fix his failing grades. But the math is absolute gibberish. He is about to rage quit when help spawns out of nowhere. Izumi Houjou corrects him. He screams like a banshee, alerting the entire server. While he wishes he could self-delete, she casually walks away, proving she actually uses this map. He expected a selfie queen. Instead, she is reading a light novel with a title longer than a CVS receipt. He is shook. She pulls up a chair. He asks why she is invading his hitbox. She points at his blank notebook. He tries to defend his smooth brain, but she snatches his failed quiz. She tells him he flopped. Savage. He panics as the library NPCs stare at him again. He challenges her score. She reveals a perfect 50 out of 50. That smug face is absolutely lethal. She shoves the worksheet at him. He tries to reject the pity carry, but she insists on being his sensei. He finally caves. The tutorial is on. She roasts his lazy strats while he sweats through the equations. Time flies. He finally cracks the code just as the clock warns them it is getting late. He looks up. She is posing by the window like a romance anime main character. He asks for a check, realizing she has been waiting for him for ages. His brain short circuits. Is she into him? He grips his pencil for dear life as she scoots dangerously close. She leans in, whispering the verdict. Correct. He overheats instantly. Then, reality hits. Her dad walks in, wondering why this random mob is still in his house. Wait, house? Plot hole. But hey, at least he aced the test. Yuta Tohno is fighting for his life in the most dangerous dungeon of all, the grocery store. He glares at the price tags. Why do vegetables cost more than gold these days? Target acquired, cheap carrots. He snatches them up before anyone else can claim the loot. He is minding his own business when a familiar voice breaks his stealth. It's Izumi Houjou. Yuta freezes, completely caught off guard. He panics. Why the heck is the popular girl shopping in his territory? She asks if he's on a grocery run. Yuta tries to act normal, but her casual look lands a critical hit on his composure. He admits she's cute, then immediately screams internally to stop simping. He swears he won't let her mess with his head again, even though his own basket is absolutely loaded with junk food. He asks what she's hunting for, then he sees her stash. Yuta whips out the shopping list and goes full drill sergeant. None of that trash is on the approved manifesto. She claims she has extra budget, but he shuts her down. Snacks come last. He orders her to return the goods, leaving her clutching her chips in defeat. She hits him with a deadpan stare he can't decode. He has no idea what she's plotting. Then she drifts toward the ice cream freezer. Yuta intercepts, screaming that frozen dairy is not authorized. She demands to see the evidence. They turn the aisle into a battlefield, haggling over prices until she finally wins a concession on the cheap stuff. At the exit, she thanks him for the carry. She admits he's surprisingly good at taking care of people. Yuta waves goodbye, totally confused by the mixed signals. He wonders why he even bothered helping her. Before he can think, the store auntie jump scares him. She grins, asking if that was his girlfriend. Yuta nearly has a heart attack. He screams that they're just classmates, absolutely not dating. The auntie shrugs, apologizing, but notes they looked like they were having a blast. That comment hits him hard. He realizes something weird. He's never actually seen Izumi smile for real. He remembers the only time she looks happy. It's when she's around his brother. He recalls the painful truth he overheard. She's only using him to get close to the popular guy. He clenches his fist, swearing he won't fall for her trap again. He shakes off the angst and heads home, taking the small victory of saving money with his eco bag. Fate and the weatherman had beef with him today. He spots Houjou stranded at the entrance. He tries to look away, convincing himself this is absolutely not his problem. But who is he kidding? His conscience wins the fight. He snaps the umbrella open, cursing his own nice guy instincts. He shoves the umbrella toward her, warning her that standing there is a speedrun strat to a fever. She freezes, processing the sudden kindness. He offers the gear, and she hits him with the classic, "Are you sure?" He insists, and she finally steps into the splash zone. Suddenly, they are playing co-op mode, walking home together under a tiny canopy. Yuta's brain is spiraling. He knows girls usually hate this stuff. They bump shoulders, and he nearly jumps out of his skin. She says it is fine, but Yuta points out the obvious. It is cramped as hell. He tries to play it cool, blaming the equipment, but internally, he is absolutely losing his mind. The silence gets loud. He starts doubting her again. He convinces himself this is all just a calculated move, just a strategy to get closer to his brother. Until a wild van appears. The driver hits a massive puddle. Yuta screams a warning. He throws himself in the line of fire and takes the full blast of the tsunami. The van speeds off, leaving a crime scene behind. He checks on her immediately, completely ignoring that he looks like a wet dog. She points out the irony. He used the umbrella to protect her, but got soaked anyway. He stammers that it is fine. As long as the VIP is dry, the mission is a success. She looks at him and tries to hold it in, but she breaks. She laughs right in his face, asking what the hell he is doing. He apologizes, feeling like an idiot, clarifying this was not some smooth move, but she smiles, genuinely thanking him for the save. Yuta realizes something terrifying. The rain stops, but the damage is done. She tells him to hurry back before he freezes. He watches her walk away, trembling. That smile did not just break the tension, it shook his entire resolve. Meet Yuta Tohno, a freshman with a tragic condition. He is stuck at 167 centimeters. The class puts him on blast immediately, pointing out he is the exact same height as Izumi. He tries to cope with some desperate math, claiming if you round up he is basically 168, but nobody buys it. Defeated, he enters gloom mode, drowning his sorrows in a juice box while the boys tell him to chill. He tries to grab a drink but hits a wall. Houjou is staring down the machine like a final boss. The background simps think she looks majestic just standing there, but Youta is parched. He cuts in and asks what the holdup is. The tragedy is real. She is exactly 10 yen short. He drops the coin just to get her out of the way. Then there's his big brother Rhea, a man so handsome he generates his own special effects. He walks down the street and leaves a trail of high-budget flower petals in his wake. The boys ask if Youta can pull off the sparkle aura too. He tells them to get real. It was seat change day, the ultimate RNG role for social survival. But Youta rolled a critical failure, landing on the one person he feared. He was now stuck desk to desk with the icy Izumi Houjou. She immediately dragged her desk into his personal bubble, greeting him with a politeness that sounded suspiciously like a threat. Yuta's internal alarm started ringing, convinced this was a dormant trap waiting to spring. Later on the bus, he decided to stop hiding and flip the script. He tried to sneak a peek to analyze his opponent's weakness, but his stealth skill was 0 and she caught him instantly. She invaded his space with a deadpan stare that nearly sent him to the lobby. Back in class, he tried to figure out her deal from a safe distance, but she was completely unreadable. He looked at her desk and realized the terrifying truth. She was addicted to sparkly, ultra-cute school supplies, except for this one weird, bouncy mascot that made absolutely no sense. She introduced him to the Lazadog, a creature that defied the laws of aesthetics. She squished its face and dropped the bombshell that it looked exactly like him. He stood up and rejected that roast with every fiber of his being. But to the rest of the class, this just looked like aggressive flirting. Back in class, Youta was spiraling. He knew the drill by now. Anyone sitting next to him usually had one goal: grill him for intel on his brother. He checked his flank and saw something totally unexpected. Houjou was rocking glasses. It hit him like a flashbang, causing him to groan out loud. She claimed she needed the specs to see from the back row, but Youta was skeptical. He flexed his perfect vision. Years of swinging from trees like a monkey gave him eagle eyes. Karma struck instantly. The teacher launched a surprise attack on the daydreamer. Youta froze, clueless. He was sweating bullets until Houjou whispered the answer. He hesitated. Was this a trap? Was she setting him up for a public roast? The teacher demanded an answer. His brain screamed. He clenched his fist and gambled on her intel. He stuttered out, persistence. The teacher went absolutely feral with joy. She didn't prank him. Youta slumped in relief and whispered a quick thanks. Houjou adjusted her frames, looking way too smug. Youta turned tomato red. Why was she enjoying this? He pushed his luck. If her eyes were trash, why sit in the nosebleeds? He asked why she didn't just request a seat change. She paused to think about it. She just smiled and said she liked the vibe back here. That non-answer confused him even more. The bell saved him from the awkwardness. He still couldn't read this girl at all. Fate smiled on him. He pulled number 23, the legendary back row protagonist seat. Izumi asked if he was okay sitting back in the boonies, but trust me, he was not complaining. The vultures swarmed, begging for his spot, but he defended it like a raid boss. That is when the memory hit him. The view that changed everything. She casually mentioned glasses would fix her eyes, while he fought for his life not to pass out. She adjusted the frames, and instantly the culture levels skyrocketed. Yuta's brain short-circuited. Critical hit. He was sent to the lobby. She hummed, twirling her glasses, knowing exactly how much damage she was dealing. Izumi was stuck in a vanity loop, demanding a full fashion audit from Kei. She switched angles, fishing for that S-tier rating. She got right in his grill until he finally admitted it looked fine, just to make it stop. Later, Kei caught Izumi acting sus with her pencil case, smiling at it like a total creep. He figured she was hiding a crush's photo, so he leaned in for the tea. But there was no boy inside, just a wall-to-wall print of the Lazadog mascot. She was literally getting a dopamine hit from the fabric lining. Fashion is weird, man. While the rest of the crowd screamed their lungs out for Prince Rei, Kei asked why Morikawa wasn't joining the Simp parade. Urara cut in, blinding him with pure, unadulterated ego. Kei respected the confidence. Even the haters in the back approved. The bus ride barely started before the peer pressure kicked in. Someone flashed a deck of cards and the whole row folded. Izumi didn't ask. She just drafted Tohno. He tried to object, but the dealer was already shuffling. His protest got drowned out by the engine. Officially, this was an outdoor learning trip to bond with nature. The class was actually buying it, oohing and aahing at the trees. But Tohno was busy regretting the moment Takamiya recruited him. He looked at his squad and realized he held the only functional brain cell. The real danger was sitting right across from him. Houjou. He tried to play it cool. Anything was better than the alternative. He had to physically smack the simp out of his system. The real battle was starting. They had to gamble for chores. 3 people would cook curry. The unlucky 2 would be banished to gather firewood. Rumor had it the firewood shift was absolute torture. That lit a fire under the squad. Tohno locked in. No way he was taking the L on day 1. They piled out at the campsite, ready for the showdown. The teacher gathered the troops to drop the hammer. Tohno couldn't figure out why Houjou was stuck on grunt duty with him. She hit him with the cold facts. He came in dead last, crowning them the bottom 2 squad. She screamed about his sabotage while the cooking team flexed their secret ingredient in the background. Hauling lumber up that vertical slope was absolute torture. He checked his 6, wondering if the princess was going to pass out. She was swaying back and forth like a Jenga tower in an earthquake. She was using every single ounce of strength just to keep the payload upright. She tried to strike a victory pose, but Tohno screamed that the nightmare had only just started. Tohno saw a girl sweating bullets, looking like she was about to fold. Before he could process it, Hasegawa rolled up to check the squad's vitals. He stuttered out a weak answer. She told them to holler if anything went sideways. Tohno was too busy simping over the class angel to listen, until Izumi jump-scared him, nearly slamming into his face. He yelled at her to stop teleporting like a horror villain. She was wheezing hard, lungs fighting for survival. He silently judged her terrible cardio, but she panicked, screaming that the curry was about to run out. She grabbed him, dragging him toward the food line. The walk back was awkwardly silent. She broke the tension, thanking him with a genuine smile. She even called him a nice guy, and he instantly tried to dodge the compliment. They peered into the pot, but the vibe was strictly radioactive. That curry looked like bubbling swamp sludge. The chefs admitted they got creative with the recipe, dumping in yogurt, honey, and entire choco pies. One brave soul went in for a taste test, and his body rejected it immediately. He screamed that it tasted like straight garbage, so Tohno went into commander mode, barking orders for water and spices. The whole squad scrambled to salvage the meal. The class started whispering about his skills. Apparently, the guy is a pro who packs his own lunch. Izumi heard the word bento and instantly got hungry. Suddenly, everyone wanted to back him up. The squad absolutely inhaled the food, acting like Yuta's cooking was a divine miracle. Youta tried to play it cool, acting humble about his little recipe tweaks. Houjou went stone cold silent. The suspense was roasting him alive. He finally cracked under the pressure, asking for the score. She hit him with the critical hit. It was delicious. She got bold, wiping a grain of rice right off his face. Youta started catching feelings immediately, which is hilarious considering she had food stuck to her face too. Before he could say a word, the speakers killed the vibe. Kobayashi hijacked the broadcast and screamed "Charge!" kicking off a surprise recreation event. He announced a mountain treasure hunt, leaving Youta standing there like a confused NPC. The crowd was confused, but one girl was just focused on securing seconds. Youta ignored the game. She took a bite, blushed, and called his cooking delicious. That is a critical hit.